Hello guys and welcome back. So let's move on to keep detailing the topology around the eye. One of the things we can do is keep extending our loop. So let me go ahead and do that. One thing you can do is you can hold it down tab and then drag out one surface here, right? And then you can hold it down tab and middle mouse button drag. That's going to allow you to drag out an entire loop. And then you can just, connect and reposition those guys. Okay. Alright, there is a important thing I want everyone to be able to notice, which is when you draw those blue colored surfaces, it's hard to see are you position them in the proper place. Now, by that what I mean is, are you really representing the underneath geometry? Now, if those even all those points are on the surface, that doesn't mean they represent the important turning and changing on the surface. So one of the things I go to make it look better is I'm going to go for the quadro 2 options. Okay, and then somewhere down here we can say the live constant options, the mesh color and mesh alpha. I can change that to something a bit more transparent. So that allows me to see exactly what's going on underneath, so I can reposition my point to make them actually go through the important landmarks, like this dip, for example. I'm gonna make my loop actually go through there. Okay, this might not seem as good as having some color here, but I still encourage you to make it go down a little bit because we want to really represent the shape underneath. Okay, all right, so let me add this loop all the way. Okay. And then you can see we do have a problem here. We have this double eyelid, right? And we don't have any loop to represent it. So I need to add more loop. To add a new edge loop, you can hold it down Control and click. And you can see it's going to give you a preview. And if you click, it's going to give you that loop. Okay, so I need 2 loops basically. All right. And the 2 loops will be, one will be on the turning point. Another one will be above it, and we have another one down here. So actually here, this one should be at the turning point, and the other one should be really close to it, and you have another one on top. Basically, those loops are needed. At least 3 loops, right, are needed to represent that double eyelid, and I can move things around to ease that over here. Okay. So just be aware of all the variations that you have to do. And when it goes to the bottom, it's actually giving us a better chance to also say, let's refine the positioning of these guys. I kind of wanted them to be clustered at this turning point. Okay, at the bottom. So I can tighten that up. Okay. A little bit. Let me go to the side view and really take a look at that. All right. Okay. So I have enough loop also on the bottom just to make the shape looks better. Okay, cool. So there are a lot of things you can do. You can refine to make everything look better. Just because you have dropped down all the points on the surface of this model doesn't mean it's good. So you have to tweak things around to make sure that you are really getting the shape you want. Okay. All right, so let me ease out those positioning. Okay. All right, so now I can really keep extending my eyes to the outside, so I can go 2 more loops to the bridge of the base of the nose, right, and keep going. All right. Now this is going to be like a T shape. So what we do is we have these loops keep going and wrap around the bottom of the eyebrow. Again, you wanted to put it in the correct position. Okay, we can, let me extrude out from there. And then these guys, I can go further than that and put it here and add a edge loop in the middle if that's easier. All right, and I can add one more here. Okay, now when I look at this bottom part, I'm thinking I think I need my loop actually goes through this dipping in part, right? This line here. So I'm gonna reposition my guys. So you guys will be actually goes up somewhere around here. Okay. All right, and then they can keep going down to here. I think I'm going too high over there, so let me move them down just a little bit. Okay. All right, and then the T shape I'm talking about will be here. If you keep going up, you actually bring them closer here and keep going. The T shape I'm talking about is this T shape. Okay, so you have the front and you have the side faces. Okay, so that's the side of the T shape, and these are the top. Now the way I highlight these guys is actually holding down Control Shift and drag, and that's actually the deleting command. So you can Control Shift and drag to select the faces to delete, or you can also delete edge loops, or even just one face. Okay, so I don't really want to delete anything, but that's a good way to actually highlight some stuff to show you. Okay, all right, let me just keep going from here. Okay. Oh, and one more thing here. Now you can see I'm having this guy wrapping around and goes there. Now I don't really want that. Actually, I'm going to delete that and keep those guys go down. Okay. And from here, I'm going to create one more face going this way and one more face going this way. So this guarantees that my loop over here goes and keep representing the side of the nose. Okay. As you can see here, I can drag these guys to the edge of the nose, and you can see what I'm trying to do here, right? So this face or this loop, these two loops I'm highlighting now will represent the transition from the bottom of the eyebrow to the side of the nose. So everything is representing that structure. Okay, so that's why I'm doing it like this. Now some people may argue that for the cleanness, like some people wanted to put those guys, those points that has more than 5 lines connect to them, we also call them pole technically. I want to put the poles on the same loop. I personally don't really worry about that, so I just put my poles in where I think they are supposed to be, so here and there. But some people may argue that it has to be on the same loop so that this pole will be actually over here, but I don't really like that structure, so that's why I don't have it there. Okay, so let me keep going to the tip of the nose. Okay, and then these guys can also just keep going, right? Okay, now you may are wondering like how many loops do I really need, right? So that's determined by two things. One is the performance, right? If you need a lot of performance, then you probably need to reduce the poly count. So there must be a polygon limitation for your engine or your platform. Okay, another requirement is, do you need the deformation? For example, if you want the deformation to represent like a furrow expression with your eyebrow going closer to each other, and you have this those wrinkles happening there, then you need 2 more lines. So it's 5 lines at least to represent that. If you really don't need that, or you kind of wanted to use normap to represent that, then you don't have that. Don't have to have that. But the primary purpose for topology, or actually 2 purposes, 3 purposes. One is of course representing the shape, right? Second one is for deformation. So the animation needs to create things like blend shape or morph target. The third is for the UV texturing, so that you can have a proper UV and easier to manage. So all 3 things matters. Okay, I'll explain more on that later on, but for now let's focus on the shape. Okay, so let me keep going a little bit towards the face. Okay, and it's here. All right, and then at some points we wanted to say, okay, we're not going to loop around anymore because they're all looping around. I'm going to say, okay, at some point maybe over here I kind of want my loop to go just to the back and to the top and to the bottom, and that's when you end up with a pole here again. You can see now I can have another pole over here to represent the cheekbone. Okay, right. You can see now with that we're redirecting the surfaces to the back. Okay, so they're going back. Alright, so that's enough for this tutorial. Moving on to the next, we're going to go ahead and say, let's do more with the nose. Okay, see you next time.